Hello, wonderful people. It's Oche Dev here once again. It's your official Papa Django here, and I am back with a big banger tutorial once again. Okay, guys. So within a couple of days now, I haven't released a new video yet, and I've been spending most of my time working on some work projects and most of my time also on Netflix. So I decided that, why shouldn't I create a Django clone of Netflix? So I did that. So if you don't know what Netflix is, so this is Netflix, the original website. It says unlimited movies, unlimited TV shows, and more. So it allows you to watch movies and TV shows, okay, online. So this is the original website of Netflix, and this is my version of Netflix. Let me switch to there. So you can see from here that I am running on localhost 48,000. Sorry, let me refresh this. You see the changes. Okay, so it's coming up. Some few seconds. Okay, so this is it. This is my version of Netflix. You see, this is it. It almost looks the same. I really did a good work with it. I did well. So it has the sign-in, the authentication system baked in. Okay, my PC is a little bit slow, so you guys should pardon me with that. So I'm going to log in. Okay, then provide my password. Then let me log in. So when I log in, you see the usual stuff of really? What happened? Let me log in again. Sorry, guys. Okay, so you see when you log in into, if you have used Netflix before, you'll be asked to choose a profile, and because I've already tested it, that's why I have this so many profiles. So you can add a new profile by going to this, clicking on this button. It's going to send you to a page where you can create a new profile, which is this place, but I don't want to create a new profile. So I just go back and choose any of the profile. So the profile, we have two types of profile. The one that you can watch all videos, and one profile for only kids. Okay, so I just choose this. Okay, so you see this is the home page. All right, you can see. So I just have two movies because I can't compete with Netflix. So let me click on a movie, and it's going to take me to the detail page of the movie. So I clicked on Vikings. So this is the detail page of Vikings. It gives me some description about the movie. Now it's just some placeholder text. And if I want to watch the movie, this is the button here. I click here. It sends me to the page where the movie is going to be shown, just like how Netflix does it. And this is it. Let me play. Okay, it's as you can see where it's playing, but the image that I use is I just use some placeholder image video, so it shows nothing. But the one that will be demoing here, you would use some short fake video. So you can see this thing just popped out. Okay, so this is basically what you are going to build. You can expand upon it, add payment system. The only thing I didn't add was the payment system and the magic behind Netflix that I can't do anything about. So this is basically what we are going to build. We are going to build our own version of Netflix using Django, the best framework ever. So guys, let's jump into it and let's build this thing out. So before we jump into the video, if you are new to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. If you are an old or already subscribed to the channel, please like the video, comment in the section in the comment section below, and share it with your friends. It's really going to help me. Okay, I really cherish. Please, Karen, do it now. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. If you are an old, you are already subscribed, please like the video. Okay, I really cherish that. Thank you, and I know you are going to do it. Okay, guys, so let's jump into the video and let's create our own version of Netflix. So before we jump into the video, because I'm a wonderful person and I want this thing to be as simple and as understandable as it can be, I went ahead and created my starter file so that we will just cut off some unnecessary parts, some things that you already know about. Sorry. So this is the repo. I'm going to leave the link to the repo in the description below so that you can have access to this repo. So when you come to the repo, there are two branches. The main branch is going to contain the completed project, and when you switch the branches, when you switch the select over here, you can choose the starter file here, the starter branch here. Sorry. When you choose it, the starter branch contains everything about contains just the starter files needed for this project. Okay, so just switch there, then go to code, then you can clone it or you can download a zip of it and just open it up inside your favorite text editor or code editor. I am going to use Visual Studio Code as usual. Okay, so let me close this tab too. We're not going to use it again. All right, so this is the repo for the project. It has two branches, the starter branch and the main branch. The main branch is for the completed project, and the starter branch is for the branch that contains all the starter files. Okay, so you come here, you clone it. I have some templates. I've provided some templates and some static files, which are the images that we are going to use. Okay, so when you clone it, you are going to see this, something like this. Something like this. You have a normal Django project that has been generated with Django-admin start project, and I gave it a name, Django Netflix. Okay, so inside the starter files the static file folder, you see some images and some styles of CSS over here, which was generated with Tailwind CSS. So I've purged a Tailwind CSS file. So this is it. And inside the what's the name? The template, you have a couple of templates that has been created for you already there. And I used Tailwind CSS as usual, my favorite CSS framework. Okay, so this is it. So this is, let me talk about the changes that I've made in the file that was generated by the Django-admin. So I changed just two files, the settings.py file and the urls.py file over here. So inside the settings.py file, I added this inside the desk of the template or the directories of the template. I added the directory for this template folder over here, and when you scroll down, you see I've done some magic over here so that we'll be able to use our static files or be able to hold our static files. So I added the static roots, the media roots, the media URL, and the static files there. Okay, so because you are going to use a development server, we have to find a way of saving our media files and our static files. So I added this line of code here, which allows us to save our static and media files whilst we are still in development. Okay, all right, so these are just the changes that I've made in the files that were generated by the Django-admin. All right, so let's continue. Let's get into the action of the project. Okay, so the first thing that you are going to do is you are going to create a new app. Okay, so you are going to create a new app. You are going to call it core. So Python start, no, sorry, Python manage.py. Oh, what is wrong in my head again? Manage.py start app. What's the name? You're going to call it core. I'm going to get an error somewhere. Okay, no error. Clear. Let's clear this. Okay, so we have created our new app over here. So let's close it and let's move up, and inside our installed apps, let's add it to it. Let's add core. All right, nice one. And the next thing I want to do is we want to add a urls.py file here so that we'll be able to some way of make our URLs modular based on the apps itself, instead of having all our URLs baked directly inside the main urls.py file. Okay, all right, so let's add a new file here, call it urls.py. all right, so inside the urls.py file we are going to first import path. Okay, then the next thing we are going to do is also have a URLs pattern list. Okay, so first import, sorry, I thought I'm writing JavaScript. So from Django.urls import path. Oh, sorry, not this path. Yes, this way. Then we are going to have an app name because we are going to use a namespace inside our main URL. So app name is going to be equals to core. Then we have a URLs pattern list. Like this. All right, this is it. We are done with this for the meantime. Let's close it. And inside the main urls.py file, this one here, the one that was generated by Django-admin, and the one that you cloned, you are going to add, you are going to include the other URLs. So path, and you are going to give it to the root route. Okay, so and you are going to give it an include, and you are going to pass it core.urls. Give it a namespace. You can see you are getting some error here, so you have to import include namespace. The namespace is going to be equals to core. All right, so let's import include. Include can be imported from Django.urls. All right, like this. So you can't save it now. You're done. Okay, so it's basically we are done with this. Okay, we are not done with it. So since you are done with this thing, the next thing I want us to look at is our models. Okay, so inside the core folder, open the models.py file. All right, okay, so first we are going to start by creating our own custom user, because we just want to extend it a little bit by just adding just one field to it. Okay, so we don't want to change the authentication system or anything. It's not anything special. So we are just going to use the abstract user instead of the abstract base user, which allows us to create a fully fledged or a fully flexible custom user. But I'm just going to use the abstract user, okay, which just allows us to just extend the fields of the user which Django provides to us. Okay, so from Django dot contrib dot auth dot models import abstract. I always spell this thing wrong. abstract user, like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and create our custom user class. I always call them custom user so I don't get confused with them, and they are going to inherit from the abstract. Sorry, what was I trying to spell? Abstract user, like this. All right, so the only thing that you are trying to add is trying to give it a profile field. All right, so profiles, and it's going to be a many, oh, not a many, a many to many field. Sorry guys, sorry. Seems my brain is on some overload. So models dot many to many field. Oh, what is going on? Many to many field, just like this, and it is going to be to the profiles table. Okay, and you are going to have null equals true and blank equals true, like this. All right, so this is it. Okay, so we are done with our user. The next thing that we want to do or look into is the profile class, the profile model. Okay, so class profile, and we are going to inherit from models dot model. Oh, sorry. All right, so the profile is going to have a name. All right, so a profile is supposed to have a name. The profile is going to be the Netflix profile, okay, the one that you usually create so you can use to watch a movie. If you are familiar with Netflix, you are supposed to know that. Char field, so you are going to use a character field, and it's going to have a max length of 225. Okay, it's going to be required. So and the next thing is going to be an age limit, so that we know whether it's for kids or it's for all, so that you show them the appropriate content. Okay, all right. What's this? All right, sorry guys. So that one's going to be a model. It's also going to be a models dot char field. And we're going to have the max length of 10, and it's going to be choices, and it's going to be age underscore choice underscore choices. So let's go and create that choices choices up here. So age choices, going to be equals to a tuple or a tuple. Then we're going to have two fields in it. Okay, so one is going to be for all, and the other is going to be for, so the first one is the one that is going to be saved to the database, and this is the one which is going to be displayed to a user. Okay, and the next one is going to be kits and kits. All right, so that's what's going to be used here. And the next thing that we want here is a UUID for this profile. So we are going to use a models dot UUID field. All right, we are going to set a default for it, which is going to be equals to UUID dot. So let's first import that UUID module from Django, so from Python, sorry. Import UUID. Okay, so UUID, and there is a version called UUID 4. Okay, this one here, I like the 4. All right, so we are done with the profile model. So the UUID is going to allow us be able to request for a particular module, or it's going to make it that how do I put it, differentiate between it. Okay, so class. The next thing we are going to build is the movie class or the movie model. So it's going to also inherit from models that model, then a movie as usual has a title. So let me clear this from there, it's not a name. So title, then it's going to be a models dot char field, and the max length is going to be equal to 225. The next thing we are going to have is a description of the movie. So it's going to be models dot char field. Oh no, sorry, we can't store the description in the char field. We are going to use a text area, a text field, sorry. What did I just spell? Text, not text. Text field. Okay, we are going to set it blank equals true, and null equals true. All right, here it's supposed to be capital. We are not writing JavaScript. All right, this is the most interesting language and the best framework ever. Okay, so created, we're going to add a created field to it. That is going to be a models dot date time field. We are going to add an auto now add equals true. So this is going to add the date, the time, the date and time that the movie class was created to this field. Okay, so we don't need to go and find out or put in the time ourselves. All right, it will be added for us automatically. All right, so the next thing that we want to add, or the next field we want to add, is the UUID field. So that is also going to make the movie going to help us differentiate between the movies. Okay, so models dot UUID field. Okay, so now we are also going to give down to a default, which is going to be equals to UUID dot UUID 4. All right, and the next thing that we want to do is add the type of movie, whether is it a seasonal movie or it's just a single movie. Okay, So at first I didn't actually want to add this part, but it makes sense. You can't have a Netflix with just only was single movies. You have to have seasonal movies too. Okay, all right, so it makes sense. Shuffled, no, shuffled, and the max length is also going to be 10, and you are going to use choices, going to be equals to movie underscore choices. All right, so let's create the movie choices over here. Over here, then we are going to have one seasonal like this. All right, and seasonal, seasonal, what have I spelled? Oliver, come on. All right, so the next one is going to be what's the name? Single. Single, and here it's going to be single. All right, so you're done with the movie choices. So here's supposed to be choices this way, that way. All right, the next thing that we want to add is, what's the name? The video. It's supposed to have a video file or a video. So let me explain to you the database setup. So we have a movie field or a movie table that is going to hold all the movies that are inside the database, and inside a movie table, a particular instance, you are going to have videos. The video can be just one video if it is a single movie or a single type of movie, but it can hold many instances of the movie. What's the name? Many instances of the movie model. Okay, so if it's a seasonal movie, so in a seasonal movie you have a lot of movies that are linked to that particular movie. But if it's a single movie, it just has one movie. Okay, I hope it's clear, right? Then, so we are going to have videos, which is going to be a models dot many to many field, and it is going to be related to the video field, right? Okay, then the next thing that is going to be we want a flyer or a poster for it, so I'm going to call it a flyer. So it's going to be a models dot image field, and I'm going to choose that it should be upload to where should we upload it to? Flyers. Yes. All right, and we are going to every movie is supposed to have an age limit so that we'll be able to know which kind of movie to show to each age limit. Okay, so it's going to be also going to be equals to a models dot char field, and the max length is going to be 10, and the choice is going to be a choices, which is the age choices. All right, okay, I hope you guys are following me. All right, so this is it. You are done with the movie model. So let's jump into the video model where we are going to hold our individual video, all right, or movie file. All right, so that is also going to be a models.model. So it's going to have a name. It can have a title. So let's say it's a seasonal movie. So the seasonal movie can have a title. That particular video instance can have a title. Let's say episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. But in the case of a single video, then giving it the single video instance a title doesn't make sense. Okay, so you are going to make it a models.char field. You are going to make it max length of 225, blank equals true, so that those the seasonal movies or the single movies can escape this field without passing it any value, and null equals true. All right, then the next thing that we need is the most important thing, the file, the video file itself. So that one is going to be a models.file field. Okay, so this is it, and we are going to choose an upload to. We're going to upload it to movies. All right. Okay, so guys, we are done with our database setup. So this is the models that you are going to use for this project, right? So this is it, one here, video, movie, profile, and the custom user model. Okay, so save it up. Okay, so this is the models done, completed. All right, let's jump into the views. Okay, so let's start writing some views and see the magic that we are putting together. All right, so in this series, or in this tutorial, we are going to use the class-based approach. Okay, so let's first import from Django.views, import view. All right, like this. Okay, let me clear away this annoying comment. All right, I'm so happy to be recording back again. Oh, I've missed you guys. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is you're going to create an index page, or let's say the home page. So let's create a view that is going to handle that. So you're going to call it home, as usual, home. There's nowhere like home. So it's going to inherit from the view. All right, so let's go on. So inside our create, in our get, it's going to just handle get. So it's going to take itself, taking request, and taking some args and quarks. All right. Then when a get request is made to this view here, we want to return a render. Okay, we want to return a render. Render has to return request, then the template that we are sending back. So inside, when you check the template folder from the static file, the starter file that you cloned, you are going to see this index.html file here. That is our home page. All right, so HTML, sorry. I'm so excited, I'm making a lot of mistakes. Index.html. all right, so this is our simple home page. All right, so let's what do I want us to do? Let's add it to our urls.py file, okay? So that we'll be able to preview it, not this urls.py file. Let's close that one up. And let's open the urls.py file inside the core, what's the name? The core folder or the core directory, all right? So path, I'm going to pass in path, and you are going to give it the root directory, and you are going to use the home.asView because it's a class base. Sorry, it's supposed to be a capital H. Home dot as view. All right, like this. So let's import in home from views. So from dot views import home. All right, so save it up, and now let's start our server and see the errors that you have made. Python manage.py run server. Okay. Oh, it seems you have started making mistakes already. So inside the models.py file, I made some mistakes somewhere on line 25. Instead of charcoal, I said chat. What is wrong with this boy? I'm sure you guys got that already. So let's save it and wait for this server to restart for us. There's another error again. What's wrong? What are we hearing over here? Okay, it said add or change related. What's going on? What's going on? Okay, custom user model. Okay, so I know why this is beginning to fuck up. So inside, because you are using the abstract user here, you are supposed to provide it inside, or provide our custom user inside the settings.urls file. All right, so when you go down, go to the bottom part. So let me add some few comment auth settings. I know you know I can't spell. So you are going to add an auth user model, and this is going to be a reference to core.custom user. All right, like this. And said null has no effect. Sorry guys, I always make this mistake. So let's take out this null. It can just be blank, but null is not needed for a many-to-many field. Okay, so save it. Then come here. And save this one too. Let's go down and see what is going, whether we are still alive. I am getting some errors I haven't seen before. What is this? What is this? Okay, so I think I know where the error is coming from. Hey, what's going wrong? So let me clear the terminal first. And first, let me make some migration. Python manage.py. Make migrations. If I get an error, I'm going back to school. So Python manage.py migrate. I think this is what's going to solve our problem. Okay, now let's run our server again. Python manage.py run server. Run server. I always get confused that I'm running npm scripts and Python manage.py file. Okay, so you can see our problems are solved. Okay, so now let's go and see whether the view we created is working. Let me open a new tab over here. So localhost, you can see I am a level of view, so port 88 is already open. So let's switch it to 8000. Let's open it up. Let's see what is going to happen. Okay, and we have a disaster. So you have the templates, but you can see the styling is not coming through, and the images too are not coming through. So we have a horrible one over here. Okay, so before we do that, let's make some changes. So you can see inside the folder, the terminal down here, it's making some GET requests to some asset files. It is not having access to it. Okay, and I know where that error is. You see, it made a request to get a style.css, which does not exist at where the directory that it's looking for it's at. So let's solve that issue. So inside the what's the name, the templates directory, you are going to create a new file. You are going to call it base.html. Right, let me change this thing. Okay, no worries. All right, then you can change this thing. Let's make some small changes over here. So we're going to change this to Netflix. And you are going to add a block over here. You're going to call it title. Okay, so let's put some dash over here. All right, then the next thing that we need to add is our CSS. So link, going to our CSS. So our CSS is inside the static, what's the name, the static directory over here. So you have to find a way of bringing our static file here and saving it. Okay, so first you are going to load our static. Okay, all right, so let's use our static over here. All right, so this is our static. So now you'll be able to have access to our styles.css, which is inside the static directory. All right, then the next thing that we need is, what do we need again? Okay, so we are going to have another block called others, so that if there are any other links that are particular to the page that we are visiting, it will be rendered over here. All right, okay, I think that makes sense. Then the next thing that we need is, what do we need? Okay, so we need another block called content. That is where all our content are going to go. All right, so this is it. I hope this makes sense. All right, okay, so now that we have our base.html done, it's good. And let's say, what do we need again? We don't need anything again. So now let's open our index.html file, and we are going to make some small changes to it so that it's be able to use this base.html file we have used and the other, and be able to utilize our style.css too. All right, so we are going to clear this part, clear the top part here, and first we are going to extends base.html. all right, then the next thing that we need to add is we want to load in our static so that I'll be able to use it. Okay, all right, so this is the title, so let's add our title to it. Okay, so another block, I'm going to call it the block is called title. So we can call this you're passing in home so that to show Netflix dash home. Okay, so we can take off this. So the other link that I was talking about is this particular link here. This link is to some icon directory. It's from ion icons. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's not all the pages that are using it. So we are going to use a block to render it for those pages that need it. Okay, so we are going to store it inside the others block. We are going to move this thing up. All right, and we are going to move this whole thing here. Let's move this whole thing here, this class here, cut it and bring it to this one over here, the base.html file. Let's save it, then go back. Then we can take off these two tags. And place the whole content of the whole content of the file, or of the file inside the contents block. All right, so let me copy, move the whole part down. Go down. Go down. My laptop is a little bit slow, so please forgive me, guys. It's not intentional. Okay, so you can end here. So at the footer part, and let's move it up. Okay, so when you are done, we can clear this thing off, these two tags. Okay, so let's save it, and now let's go back and go and refresh and see whether it's going to work. Do you have any errors? Okay, so you can see you have Netflix homes. You can see the home is now popping up. All right, so you can see we have most of our styling back again. Most of our styling is working again, but we have a problem. The problem is that our images are not showing. There's supposed to be an image here, then an image here, but they are not showing. I don't know why, but I know why. Because we are referencing them directly from the folder and they are not there. So we have to find a way of loading them from our static. Okay, so when you scroll up the images file, we are going to start from this place, this here, the static. So let's take off the assets here, then they're all inside the static file. So static, like this. All right, then go down, pick up this part. Sorry. Then let's copy this part, make it static. All right. So I think there are 2 or 3 more down there. Let's do that quickly. So when you scroll down, there's this one, there's another one here, there's another one down there too. So let's take off the static in front there, and if you are using VS Code, it makes it even easier. Okay, just highlight this here and type static, choose this. You see, it makes it very simple. Take off the static, the asset again. Alright, let's leave it last one, I guess. The kids part, yes, this one. That's the last part. What's the name? Static. What's the name? Okay, so let's save it. Now let's go and let's refresh and see whether it's going to work. Okay, let's give it a few seconds. Something that happened. It's okay, so you can see our images are now in. You see, we have our first part almost done. The first page is almost done. Guys, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you are new, if you are old, please like the video, share with your friend, comment in the section, the comment section below. It's really going to help me. Okay, right? Please help support me out. All right. Okay, so this is it. So you can see our images are now coming in. We have our home page of Netflix done. All right, so let's jump. Let's go on. So when you look inside, when you go through all the templates now, you see that you'll be using the navbar almost in all the templates. So it makes sense that we make this a partial, then we import it in, or we include it in all of our files. Okay, so let me cut this part off, and inside the templates here, we are going to create a new directory called partials, and inside the partials directory, we are going to create a new file called navbar.html, and inside it, the navbar that I copied or I cut, I'm going to paste over here. No changes to it, the same thing. The only thing that we need to do is we have to load in static, all right, so that we'll be able to have access to it. So static is loaded for each and individual template, all right. So each template handles its own static. So load. So let's save it, then let's close it. We'll come back and make some changes later on. Okay, so now let's include it over here. Let's include it. We're going to include partials slash navbar.html. All right, like this. Let's leave some space. So it helps. Okay, now let's go back and refresh and see whether there were any changes. So this is the original one without us copying anything away. Let's refresh. Same thing, no different. Oh wait, let's wait a little bit. The same thing, no difference, no changes. Okay, all right, hope you guys are following. Okay, so the next thing that I want us to do is let's talk about the authentication part of things. Okay, the authentication. So in this project, we are going to use almighty all auth. So Django, we are going to use Django all auth to handle our authentication. If you don't know what all auth is, this is all auth. So all auth is an authentication package that makes authentication in Django very simple and very like the standard. It meets the standards of authentication. Okay, so it gives you access to social authentication and normal authentication too as well. So you just pip install Django all auth, or this is their documentation. I'm going to leave the link inside the description below. Okay, all right guys, so please do a pip install of Django all auth if you have not done it. I've already done that, so I'm not going to go through that step again. And I'm going to need to add some changes to the template file. They need you to have this Django templates context processor dot request. It's already inside ours already. So if you scroll up, this is it. Maybe I've made some changes to it, so but it's needed. So it's already there. It was provided by the Django-admin generator. All right. And the next thing that we need is this thing over here. So let's copy this over here. Copy this. Go back. This is how I live my life. Okay. So if you read the comments, you're going to know what each individual import does. All right. Let me take off this one too. All right. Then the next thing that we need to do is we need to add, what's the name, inside our static files. You need to add these three things. These are essential, and the down one are based on the social author that you want to use. All right. Let me minimize this one down here. Okay. So let's scroll up. And let's go to installed apps. So I'm going to leave a comment here. Third party apps, and I'm going to leave it down here. Oh, it didn't copy. Sorry guys. Let's go and copy it again. Copy, go back, paste it again. All right, so now you have added it. It seems it's left with some one or two stuff, and you are done with all auth. So you need to add a site ID equals to 1, and inside the URL.py file, you add this one. You add this path. All right. So I'm going to copy that path, and we just go and type in the site ID into it. So site underscore ID is equal to 1. And when you go into the root URLs.py file, you are going to add the URL file, the path that I copied. Okay, but first I need to add a comma over here before Django starts crying. Save that, and let's go back to our settings.py file again. All right, so we are going to make some changes to our authentication. So all Auth provide us with some configuration that we can make to make authentication so simple and lovely. It seems I'm making the source for all Auth. All right, so the first thing that we are going to add is the authentication method. So the authentication method allows us to choose which way a user should log in. Either they should log in with their email, or they should log in with their username, or either username or email. Right? So account authentication method, and in this our app, or in this our project, we are going to use email. I don't think what's the name, Netflix is ever going to use username to log in. So you just want to be, oh sorry, it's supposed to be an email, not email. All right, so the next thing that we need to do is you want to make email a required field. So email account email required what, how do you spell it? Okay, required, we're going to set it to true. Sorry guys, the Python true, not the other programming language true. All right, then you're going to set account email verification. I'm going to set it to none, a string none, not Python none. Okay, and the last two things that we need to add is account user name required. So that is going to tell all Auth whether to require username when a new user is registering or not, and we want to set it to false because we don't want users to pass in email their usernames when they are registering. All right, then the last thing that I want us to do is not related to all Auth, but it's related to Django itself, which is the login. Sorry. Login. What's the name? Login redirect. URL. And we are going to pin it to slash for the meantime. All right. Else usually it goes to something profile, accounts profile or something like that, but we are going to put it to slash. All right, so with this done, let's see whether our server is still alive. Okay, let me scroll down and see what disaster we are in. Okay, so it's saying that we need some. Okay, so when you look at the all Auth documentation, down here it's asking for this thing here. So the tool already has been added to our installed app by the Django Create app, but we need to add this site, whatever the contrib site thing. All right, so scroll up and let's add it. So let's add it to it and save it. Let's see whether you see our server is restarting again. Let's see whether it's going to work. Okay, so you can see it's working, but we have some migrations that we need to make as soon as possible. So let's shut down our server. clear the terminal. Python manage.py migrate. Okay, so it's going to migrate quickly. Then we continue with our lifestyle. A few seconds more. So now let's run our server again. py run server. Sorry, server Sivia. Okay, guys. All right. So now that we are done with this, so let's refresh. Sorry. Let's refresh. Okay, so now let's go to our login part. You can see we have not even added any route, but we can go to our login. You have a fully login place which we can log in, log out, and other stuff. So account/login. Let's click there. So you can see we have a login here. You can go to sign up. You can go to I saw some forgot password somewhere. Okay, let's go to sign in again. You can go to sign in, forgot password, and you can reset it. You see, so all Auth gives us all these functionalities baked in. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to change this sign in and sign up. What's the name? How do I put it? Template, or how it looks too codey and we can't let our users use this. Okay, so first thing, we are going to override this template, the template for the sign in and sign up. All right. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to override the template. Okay, so to override all Auth templates, the first thing that you have to do is that inside your templates directory, you are going to create a new folder. Oh, sorry, not a new file. My bad. A new folder or a new directory and call it account. And inside account, if you want to override the template for login, you are going to create a new template and call it login. If you want to override the template for sign up, you are going to create a new template and call it sign up. So for us, we are going to move our templates login into this directory over here. All right, so now let's go back again. So as first, this was the login page, but you're going to get a codey one, but still it's worth the explanation. So now you can see we have a new login. And this is it. It's using mine because you are not using what's the name, the base.html. That's why it's not looking beautiful at all. Okay, so let's make it beautiful. Let's make it beautiful. So let me close this terminal, open the template app, and let's make some changes to it. All right. Okay, guys, so we are going to make some changes to our template here. So just like we did for the home view, you are going to clear this part. Let's clear this one off. Waivers. So first you are going to extend this part, and with this you are going to go back one directory, then go into get the base.html file. Because base.html file is not directly inside the accounts file, that's why you are going back so you can have access to it here. The next thing you are going to have is the block title, title, and here is going to be login. So we can clear off this one here, these two things over here. We're going to have another block called others. Okay, let's move this script up into the block like this. Okay, the next thing that you are going to do is you are going to surround the main content or the content inside the body tag in a block content tag. Okay, so content, oh, what am I spelling? All right, if you know you can hire me at Netflix, please contact me. Oh guys, but Netflix is a very, it's worth the price. I really enjoy the application. Okay, so this is it. So let's go back and refresh and see whether you're going to have something. So let's refresh. I hope we don't get any error. Give it a few seconds. Okay, so you can see we have something going on. First, our logo is not coming in, and we are supposed to have some background image. It's not also coming in, so let's go and fix that. So I told you that we are going to use our navbar throughout, so we can include it also here. So let's take out this navbar, then let's include it. So we're going to go backwards, then go into our partials /navbar.html, html, like this. Okay, so the next thing that we need is this thing here, the background image. Let's change it so that it's referenced from our static. So let's copy over static like this. All right, so it seems that's all that what we need. It's all that we need. Let's refresh again and see whether we get an error. I knew we are going to get an error because it didn't load in our static. Let's go back. So let's load in static. Okay, with that done, let's go back and refresh. Okay, it means we didn't get any error again. And where is it? Voila! You can see our, what's the name? Our navbar is showing here, and our background image too is showing here. Beautiful. As you can see, I did a good work with the styling. Okay guys, so one thing that you have to take into consideration is that the names here should match. The name and ID here for the individual inputs should match the one which would have been provided for you if you are using the original templates provided by, what's the name, Auth. Okay, so here we need to make here login. So the name is supposed to be, the name is supposed to be what's login and ID login. Okay, sorry, should have done this earlier on. Okay, and let's save it. The next thing that I want us to check is this, where we are going to render our error messages if there's any errors with the email, with the authentication credential that has been provided. Okay guys, so for us to be able to render the errors here, I'm going to paste in some code shortly. So this is it. So let's just take out this static error that I provided just to it help with the styling. Okay, so I think the code that I pasted was from here to here. Okay, this is it. So this is going to check if the form has errors. If it has an error, it's going to create this div and it is going to render the forms dot non-filled errors. Okay, this is it. All right, so the next thing that I want us to do is, let's say a person is on the home page, or let's say he's watching a particular movie and wants to go to the login. I want us to the user to be redirected back to the place that they logged in from. Okay, they logged in from. So you are going to add in some snippet of code to as well inside the form. Let me put it over here below this thing. So I have it already copied to my clipboard. So this is it. I think this is it. Paste it over here. This is it. Okay, so let me scoot over here a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so you can pause it and enter in this thing. So it redirects the person back to where they clicked the logged in from. All right, so save it and let's go back and test it again. Yes. All right, so let's try logging in. So let me use my favorite email. Okay, so you can see nothing happened. It is because of something that I know about. I am guilty about it. So inside the form, on the form tag, you are supposed to specify which method that we want to use. So at the meantime, it is using get, which is not the right way. So it's supposed to be, the method is supposed to be set to post. All right. So let's go back and refresh again. Let's take off this thing from there, refresh. And I know you are going to get an error, so let me not make us make that error first. So inside Django, for us to submit a form, it's supposed to have a CSRF token, okay, for security reasons. So you're going to add a CSRF token to it this way, or else you are going to get an error. Let me refresh again. All right, so admin and the super strong password admin, and let's post. Let's log in and see what is going to happen. What is going on? What is going on? You can see now we have an error. This is a dynamic error that is coming in from the backend. It says the email or password you specified are not correct. Okay, so something is going on over there. So the next thing, let's go and work on the sign up. Let's go and work on the sign up. So the first thing that I want us to change is this thing. Before we go and continue that, I want us to route this link to the sign up page. Okay, so let's add a URL here. So add a URL, and it's going to go to sign up, not to login, sign up. It is L sign up. Oliver, be serious. Okay, this is it. This is it. Now let's go back and refresh. Let's refresh again. It's saying it does not exist. What is this? Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. Sign up. Excuse me. Okay guys, so it's apparently it's supposed to be account underscore sign up. All right, save it. Okay, so no errors, no errors, no errors, no errors. Our image is also coming in, so you can see when you over now, it's now sending it to account slash, so whatever. So let's click on it. Let's see whether you see we are now on our sign up. Now let's go work on the sign up templating. All right. So inside this, the same thing that we did for the login, you're supposed to have a file that is called sign up inside this account file over here. So me being the wonderful person and the official Django Papa, I am moving this folder that the file that I provided for you inside the starter file inside this account folder. All right. So now let's go and refresh and see whether we're going to get. Take note of what you are seeing here. It's going to be different because mine too is also going to be cruddy. Okay, so you see mine has a logo and other stuff over here. So let's go and make some changes to it so that it uses the base, the HTML file and the asset files too. All right. So let's take out this part. Then let's extend base. Sorry, you have to move back the directory. Base.html. Wow. Then the next thing is let's load in our static before we make any error. Let's load our static. Where's the load? VS Code wants to play with my brain. Okay, the next thing that we need is the block title, and the title is going to be, oh shit, not that. Okay, going to be not sign sign up. All right, there. The next thing that we need is another block that is going to be called block orders. Let's move this into it. Let's take out this part. What are we going to call it? We are going to call the block content. Then let's move all this thing into it like this, and let's take off these two over here. All right, so the next thing that we need to add is the background. This background, then let's take off this asset and reference this from our static. All right, the next thing that we need to add is, I want us to change this redirect here, so it sends us to the the login page. Okay, we are on the sign up, so you have to go back to the login. So URL, going to go to account underscore login, save it. Now let's go back and refresh. Okay, so you can see we have something now. We have something here. Okay, but our navbar is not working. Let's import in our navbar. Sorry, I forgot about that. Let's take out this thing and include our navbar from the partial. Include partials. Sorry, it's supposed to be a string. First you have to move back in partials slash navbar.html. Let's save it, go back, refresh, and wait for a few seconds. Voila, that is it. So we have our sign up page also working beautiful. Okay, so 1 or 2 changes, then we are almost done with this place. So just as the other one, here is the names, and this one should be the same. So here is supposed to be password 1, the name is supposed to be password 1, ID password 1, something like that. Yes, I think this is it. This is the right one. And we also want to render, what's the name, our errors. Okay, our errors, instead of having it statically typed over here. Where is it? This is it. Let me take it out, and the code that I pasted in from the previous code, I'm going to paste it again. Same thing. So you can pause it and type it in. Okay, all right. Then the final thing is the redirecting thing. All right. Yeah. Okay, let's put it here. Let me get it for my, paste it over here, scoot over here so that you can see it. Scroll. Alrighty. So I think that is all that is that about that as far as that is concerned. Alright. So, and the last thing, I always say the last thing, but you're not done. Let's add our CSRF token. Using a form, so CSRF token, and let's change this method from get to post. The method is going to be post. All right. So now let's refresh. All right, so you can see this beautiful thing over here. So let's try login and see whether you're going to get any errors. So let me use my second favorite password, email. Let's click on login. Are there going to be any errors? A few seconds more, and wonderfully we didn't get any errors. Okay, because you're not supposed to be rendering this errors over here, because this is the sign up form. It's not giving us, what's the name, the non-filled errors. It is giving us filled errors. Okay, so you have to use those ones. Okay, so instead of using this one over here, let's take out all this one to there. Sorry about that, guys, and use this one instead. Let me push this thing backwards a little so I have some beauty. All right, so this is the error that you're going to use. So let's refresh. Then let's try again. I'm using a very short password so that we get an error to test whether the error functionality is working. Okay, so you can see now the errors are coming. Say the password is too short, it must contain whatever. So yes, so you can see it's working. So let's create a new account. Let's use a better password. So let's say test1234, super strong password, test1234. Okay, then let's sign up. Let's see whether it's going to work. You can see the password too is very common. So which password are we going to use again? Okay, let's change it up. I'm going to use killer test as my password. That one I don't think it's going to be common. Killer test, and it's also above 8. Killer test. Let's log in and see, sign up and see it's going to work. Okay, so you can see we have successfully signed up. Then we have also been redirected to our what's the name? The login, the home page. All right. Okay, so you can see there's it. So let's go back, and inside our navbar.html file, I want us to do some quick changes. Some quick changes. All right. So we are going to add another button, but we want to show sign in if the person is not logged in, and sign out if the person is already logged in. So if request.user.isAuthenticated, I know I've made an error over here. What an error. So the dot is supposed to be just single. That is authenticated. Then we want to show this one over here. Or else we want to show another one that is similar to this one. But we want to log out, so sign out instead. Oh, I have to change it, log out. So if the user is logged in, we want to show log out, not the other way around. So let's move this one down. All right, so now let's refresh and see whether it's going to work. So you can see, because we have signed in, we signed up and it signed us in. That's why we are seeing the logged in. Okay, so let's work on the logout functionality quickly. Okay, okay guys, so for us to handle the logout, you have to send a post request to the back end, which is going to handle that. For us to make a post request, we also need a form. Even though Auth provides a way of signing out on a GET request, which will just make a request to the endpoint and to sign the person out, it is not advisable to sign out a user using a GET request. You can find more about it inside Django's documentation. Okay, so GET request is not made to make changes on a resource on the server, but a post request is supposed to do that. So it's more advisable to use a post request. So first, you are going to create a form over here, a form with a method of post. The action is going to be handled by ourselves. Okay, so you're going to have a post. And you're going to move this button inside it. Okay, you're going to change the type. Okay, the type is already submitted, don't worry about the type. So you're going to change the action. Oh god, action, and you're going to pass it the URL to account underscore logout. Okay, so guys, we need to change this thing, make it more, sorry about this way. All right, this makes sense. Then you need to provide a CSRF token because you are using a form, or else Django will cry. CSRF token. I think that is it. Okay, let's save it, then go back. Let's refresh and see whether we're going to have any errors. Okay, so let's log out. What happened? You see, we are logged out, so we can sign in again. All right, so the logout functionality is working. So guys, we are almost done with the authentication part of this project. Let's click. Okay, so let's make this thing go to the, what's the name, the sign up page. Okay, so that it makes more sense. So down here, the button that goes to, we're going to wrap it with an href that points to the URL of the login. That is going to be account underscore login. Okay, so let's move this whole happy dabby here into it. Let's save it, go back, then refresh it. Okay, so give it a few seconds so that my computer doesn't blow up. Let's click on it. Let's see where it sends us, and voila, it sends us to login. So we can log in and see whether it's going to work. The account that we created was, what's the name? Hey, b@b.com, and the password was killer test. Let's see whether I'm going to get logged in. Okay, so it seems we have logged in. We are able to log in successfully. No errors now. Okay, so you can see you have a logout button over there. Okay, for some weird reason it seems the fonts are not working because this is not the font I used. Let me fix that and let me check why that's not. Okay guys, so it seems I know why the fonts are not working, are not looking great. So inside the base.html file, where is it? Where's that guy? This guy. You need to add one class to the total, this thing here. Add font underscore a font dash primary. Is it primary? Yes, font dash primary. And also below the block here, add in this script, this small JavaScript. I don't want to scare anyone, so this small JavaScript, you are going to need it later. Okay, so let's just put it in for the meantime. Okay, let's save it. Now let's go back and refresh and see whether it's going to look a little bit nicer and closer to the raw Netflix homepage. Okay, now you have a weirder. What's this? Okay, so now it has loaded in the font and it looks more beautiful. Nice one. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do or work on is the profile page, or yes, the the view that is going to show us our profiles. All right, so let's go back to Visual Studio Code. Okay guys, so let's jump into the views and write the view for our, what's the name, the profile page. Okay, so you can close this base.html, index.html to can go sign up and log in to can go down. Sign up. Okay, so now let's go back to our views.py file. So I'm going to create another view. So we're going to call it class the class profile list. So that's where we are going to list our profiles. So it's going to also inherit view. sorry guys. Then the next thing that we need to get is the def define our get method. So self, we're taking self request, args and quarks. Then the next thing I want to get is the profiles. So profiles, the profiles of our current user. Okay, our user that is accessing the profile page. Sorry. So we are going to get it from the request.user.profiles. That is the field that we just added to our custom user. Then because since it's a many-to-many field, we can call the .all on it, so we get all the fields, all the profiles, and we are going to return a render of our request, and what's the name? The template name is going to be profile list.html. So when you check the templates which you clone, you see a profile list. There is it. Okay, and you are going to pass some context arguments along. So we are going to pass a context called profiles. What am I spelling? If you can spell profiles. Okay, I wish it was JavaScript where you just type profiles, then it's going to do the magic for you. So we are referencing this profile. Okay, so this is it. This is the view that is going to give us our profile list. But the problem is that if a person that is not signed in try to access this endpoint or this view, we are going to get an error because that person is going to be an anonymous user. An anonymous user instance does not have this profile instance on its profiles instance, or the profile fields on it. Sorry guys. Okay, so we have to protect this route. So we have to make it open to only signed in users or logged in users. Okay, so from Django, sorry, it's supposed to be Django dot contrib dot auth dot decorators. We are going to import the login required field, the login required decorator. All right. Okay, so since you are using a class-based view, we can't directly decorate this view. So we are going to use the method decorator to decorate the dispatch method. Okay, so you're going to import down to from Django dot contrib dot utils, sorry, utils dot decorators, import method method decorator like this. And since you want to decorate the dispatch, you are going to place a decorator here. So the @ symbol, you're going to use method decorator. All right, and the decorator that you are using is the login decorator, login required decorator, and the name of the method I want to decorate is the dispatch. Okay, so let's save it. Now we should provide a path or a route for this view. So let's go to our urls.py file inside the core directory. Then let's import profile list. Then go to path. And you're going to provide it this, sorry, profile. Sorry, oh, what's wrong? Okay, then we're going to provide a profile list dot as view. Okay, hope you guys are following. Then the name, you're going to give it as profile underscore list. Okay, so save it there. Are we right? I guess so. There's no error, or there's an error because this thing is not highlighted. Let me see whether the server is still alive. Okay, the server is still alive. Let's go to that endpoint and see whether it's going to work. /profile, and you can see we are logged in. Okay. Oh, /profile, and you can see we have something, but it's not looking great. So let's work on that template quickly. So let's go to profile list list. That one is going to be very simple. Quick. Since you have seen it already, we're just going to extend base.html, add another block here, block title, going to call this profile. Let's take off this ones here, call this block content, let's move this whole thing, go down, let's end on the section, move this thing up. Okay, let's take out these two. Then let's take out this navbar and include the one from partials / navbar navbar.html. Okay, save it. Then let's go back and refresh and see what happens. Okay, so you can see you have something going on over here, something going on. Beautiful. All right, so these ones are, these divs are static divs, so you are going to take those ones off, and you are going to loop over the ones that we are going to bring. Okay, let's take these divs. We're just going to leave just one. Okay, just one. All right, thank you. And I'm going to run a for loop. Okay, so for profile in profiles, like this. Okay, like this, and we want to make this thing an A tag. Okay, so that we'll be able to, for the meantime, I'm going to make it a hash for the meantime. Okay, so when you click on the div, it's going to send us to, it's going to allow us to use that particular profile. Okay, all right, so I want you to add in this template or this small HTML inside this div. Yeah, this thing over here. So we get the profile name, then we slice it so we just have just one letter, and below it we place the, what's the name, the profile name. So we have, like, if it's the profile name is Auth Dev, you are going to have a capital or a big one, and below it you are going to have Auth Dev below it. Okay, so let's add this view class flex dash call. That's going to give it flex column, and justify dash center, align center, like this. All right, and save it. Let's go back again. Let's refresh. What you are going to see, you won't like it because there will not be anything over here. Okay, yes, because our user doesn't have any profile yet, that's why it's not showing anything currently. All right, so let's go back. Hey, so you are going to log out over here and see what's going to happen, whether you are going to see this page or it's going to take out from this page. You see, it takes us back to the login page. Okay, that's nice. So let's try, since you are logged out, let's try going to that profile page again. Profile, like this. Let's try going to that route again. And because we need to log in before, we need to be logged in. What's the name? To be logged in before you have access to that page or that view, it has brought us to the login page. Okay, so let's log in and see whether we can go there now. Okay, and let's pass in killer test. And voila, we have been redirected to our page, our home page. All right, so the next thing that we are going to work on is creating a new profile, so that if a user comes and has no profile, that him or her can go to the profile page. Okay, but before we do that, I want us to add some changes to the view, so to the home view. So if a user is logged in already, we want that person not to see the index page, but whenever he tries to access the home page, you should send him to the profile page. Okay, that one makes more sense, because what is already on the home page is not something that should be shown to someone that is already logged in. All right, so if request.user is authenticated, I think it's supposed to be request, not request. Then you're going to return a redirect. Okay, so I'm going to click on it. It's going to auto import redirect for me. Okay, so you have to add it to your imports. Okay, so we want to be redirected to core hyphen, not hyphen, semicolon profile underscore list. Okay, so this here I'm using a reverse URL. Okay, so let's save it, and since we are logged in, let's try accessing the home page. Let's try accessing the home page here, which is slash. You see it's okay. Seems you have some crazy errors down there. What went wrong? Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be 8,000. I'm sure you guys got that. Let's try refreshing. Since you are logged in, you see it redirects us to the profile page. Beautiful. All right, guys, so let's go and work on the profile create. Okay, guys, so let's work on the profile create view. So let's go down. Sorry, so it's going to be class profile create. Okay, so it's going to inherit from view. Okay, so you're going to have a get method that's going to take in self request. taking arcs and quarks. Okay, then inside the get request you want to return a form. That form is going to help us create the profile. Okay, so let's say you're going to have let's just leave a comment, form for adding, for creating a profile. All right, then let's return a render. So return a render. I'm going to render the request and return the the profile create HTML. All right, so let's save it. Then let's go and add it to the URL. So first let's import it in. Profile create. Sorry, here it's supposed to be a capital. Okay, profile create like this. Then you're going to use a path. We're going to send it to profile /create/ then you're going to use the profile create create.asView, which is a class based view. So the name is going to be profile create, as you just guessed. Alright. So let's go and test it out. Let's first check whether our server is alive. Okay, it's still alive. Let's go and test it out. So profile /create. Okay, so you can see we have something over here. So we have to go and edit our what's it called? Our templates. Alright, where is this profile create? Just close this terminal down. So first you are going to do the usual stuff. Let's take out these things. Extends. Extends base.html. Then we need another block. Title. I'm going to call it, leave the text profile create. Supposed to be capital profile. This looks nice. Let's take out this tags. Take out this one too. Okay. Then now you can have another block here called block content. Alright, so now let's grab everything inside it. Inside the section of those last two tags, send it into the block content. Take out these two. Okay, so now we have to take out this navbar, then include our nav partial. Partials slash navbar .html. Okay, now save it. Let's go and give it a view. Okay, something is coming through. Seems there was supposed to be an image behind it. Okay, that's how it's going to look. I think that's how it's supposed to look. I feel like there's supposed to be an image behind it, so let's just add an image. Let's use image as a background for it. Okay, so let's first load static. And the section here, let's add an inline star that is going to take in a background. Background dot image, that is going to be a URL to our static, and we are going to use background.jpg. Let me check the static files. Sorry, should have done this beforehand. My laptop is freaking slow. Background_netflix.jpg. Netflix.jpg, you know. Okay, and here let's add the classes. Let's add bg-cover. All right, now let's refresh and see how it's going to look like. All right, this one looks more beautiful. Nice. Such a nice one. Okay, so the next thing that you are going to do is you are going to work on the form that you are going to use to create the profile. Okay, so inside our core directory, create a new file called forms.py. All right, so here you are going to import one or two stuff. So from Django, not Django, what did I for? Django.forms. Oh, what's this? Forms, import model form. All right, and you are going to import our model too. So from .model, import a profile. That's what you are going to use. Oh, here is supposed to be .models. Okay, so you are going to create a class called profile form. If I can spell profile well, profile form, which is going to inherit from the model form, like this. Then you're going to give it a class meta. Sorry about this combined thing. It's supposed to be class meta. and below we're going to specify the model. What was I trying to spell? Method. Model is going to be equal to the profile model that we just brought in. Then we are going to specify an exclude. Okay, that's the field that should be excluded, and the field that we want to exclude is the UUID field, so that the UUID is generated dynamically from the back end. All right, don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now we are done with the form for creating our profile. So let's import it in and use it here inside our view. Okay, so first let's import it in. From, what's the name? From .forms, import profile form. Oh, bad. From profile form, import profile form. Okay, so now we have our profile form here. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to use our profile form. So from, I'm going to create an instance of form of that profile form. So profile form, then instantiate it, and I'm going to pass it along. I'll pass it along inside as a context argument, right? All right. I hope it makes sense. All right, so this is it. This is our form now. So this one is just the get method, so it doesn't make much changes. Most of the functionality is going to be inside the post method. Okay, so let's save it, and now let's go and make some changes inside our create template. So you are supposed to have two fields, one which is going to be a select and the other which is going to be so an input field. The input field is going to take in the name. So here is supposed to be just name, a profile name. So the name here, you see I've been changing the name and the ID name. So the name here should correspond to the field name, the name that was given to the field, and the ID should be ID underscore the field name. You get it? All right. So here is going to be ID underscore name, like this, and here is going to be ID underscore age limit. If you check the model, you see that that's how they are called. Age limit, age underscore limit. Yes, is going to be age underscore limits, like this. All right, this is it. Okay, now let's add our method to the form, which is going to be a post. Then let's add our CSRF token. All right, this is it. Okay, we are going. So we can close this thing here. Let's close it down. Then the form. Then let's go back to our view again. So with the get method, we are done with it. We don't have anything to do with it. So the next one you are going to focus on is now the post method. We're going to have a def for post. It's also going to take in self request and ask and quarks. Quacks and quacks. Then you are going to create the form instance again, another form instance of the profile. Oh, not mine, oh sorry, profile form. But this time around we are going to take in the request post, request.post or none. This is going to help us get the data that has been posted from the front end here. So that is going to be stored inside the request.post or none. All right, that means if there's nothing inside it, that's what is going to be the none. All right, or if there's nothing like a post, there's no post. All right, so first I'm going to check if the form is valid. If the form is valid, form underscore valid. If I can spell valid well. Then if it is valid, we want to what? Let's first print. Let's print form dot clean data. That is going to give us the values of the form. All right, form dot clean data. And when we are done, we want to return a render as usual. So Django will cry. If you see that, you return a render or a redirect, or you have to return a response. That's what I want to say. In anything, you have to return a response. So our response is going to be a render. We are basically going to do the same thing as this. Let me just copy it to save some time. Same thing like this. So save it. Let's go back to the form and let's refresh this thing. So let's pass it a name. Let's pass it authDev. And the maturity level, we want it to be all. Then let's send a post. Okay, so the post has been done. Let's go and check inside our terminal whether the values were, so you can see the values came in. This is it. So the form was valid and it's printed the clean data. So you can see the name here and the age limit here as well. Okay, so since you have those values, we can now go ahead and create the profile now. Okay, so instead of just printing it, let me just comment so you have it. So you can go to profile. So we are going to create a new profile instance. Okay, so I'll just auto import it. So you can see it has been imported up here for me. Okay, so you have to import it in if you are not using Visual Studio Code or you don't have the auto import feature. Then we are going to do object.create, and you are going to spread the values that you are going to get from the values that you are going to get from the clean data. Okay, so let's copy this thing here. Let's just type it. let's not be lazy. So we are going to spread it. So because it's a dictionary, we use 2 asterisks, then create. So it's supposed to be 3. Sorry, instead of 3, it's supposed to be 2, not 3. Okay, just 2, just the 2. So we're going to spread form dot clean. I need to go back to some spelling school or something like that. Form dot clean data like this. All right, but you are going to store the profile that is going to be created inside a variable called profile. Okay, so when we have this profile like this, that has been created for us. So if it's able to successfully create the profile, then we want to what? Redirect the user to the place where they are going to choose. They are going to choose what? They are going to choose their profile. Okay, so if profile, so you are checking if the profile was created and it is not known. If profile, you are going to return a redirect. Sorry, redirect. And on normal circumstances, you are supposed to redirect them to the place that they will watch the movie straight. But because you have not yet created it, you are going to first redirect them to the profile page where you choose your profile. Okay, so profile. Sorry. What's the, so where you are redirecting them is called, you are using a reverse URL, so profile underscore list. Okay, like this. So this is where we are redirecting them to. But one thing that we skipped was that before somebody will be able to go to the place where they create the profile, that person is supposed to log in. So we are going to do the same thing as we did for the profile list. We are going to protect that route like this, or else if a user that has not signed in comes in to create a new profile, there will be danger. There will be a big problem. Okay, so now the profile has been created. Now the profile has been created here, and we are redirecting if the profile has been created. But this profile is created and it is not associated with any user yet. So for us to be able to associate it with the user, we are going to get inside here, before we do the redirect, you are going to get to the request.user. Then we check the profiles. We get to the profiles here, then we add to it. Because it's a many-to-many field, we use add. Okay, we are going to add that profile to it, or else it will just be existing, but it will not be related to the user. Okay, you add it to it. Beautiful. Then now you can save it and go and test it out. Okay, so it seems everything is fine and perfect. So first let's refresh this thing. Okay, so let's create for Ultra Dev. No, like this, and the maturity is also. Let's click on this, submit. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so you see we have been brought to our home page. I've brought to the profile page where we can select a profile, but it seems we have some weird styling over here. Let's fix that quickly. It looks too ugly. Okay, so where did it go wrong? So justify center, align center. Let's add a text center and see what is going to happen. I don't know why that's happening, but we'll find out very soon. Okay, so that was it. So just add a text center to here, then it's going to work. It's going to look beautiful now. So at first there were no profile here, but now you can see there's a profile here. So now we are going to work on clicking up on the profile, and it's sending us to the watch view, okay, where we can select a movie and watch it. Okay guys, so now you are able to create profiles and now display them here, but we left out one thing. We didn't link up the URL that helps us to create the profile to this button here. So let's do that quickly. So inside the profile list html.html. Come into this div here, then let's surround the button with an anchor tag. That is going to have, let's leave some space in between it, and let's move the button into it. Let's move it up. Then now let's use our URL. So I think it is core dot colon create a profile create, sorry guys, profile underscore create. Okay, so let's save it. Let's go back and refresh. Okay, so let's refresh. Okay, so now seems there's something wrong somewhere. Okay, so now it's working. Okay, so it's working perfectly. So let's go back. So we are done with the profile list area. So now what we want to do is that when a user comes to this profile list and he or she chooses a profile, I should send them to the page that is going to list all the movie for them to choose the movie in which they want to watch. Okay, so let's work on that. So that one is going to be our movie list. It's going to be like a movie list view or something like that. Okay, so let's jump into our views.py file. So you can close these two here. These two files. Let's close them. Close this one too. Okay, I'm basically done with that. So you can move to the bottom and create our new class-based views. So you are going to call that class. Oh no, what's this? Sorry guys. Supposed to be a class watch. Oh, it's supposed to be a capital.b. Okay, and you are going to inherit the view. Then you are going to define a get method, and you're going to take in self request. You're going to take in profile ID. That is going to be the ID of the profile that was created, okay, or the profile that was selected, okay, to be right. Okay, then the next thing that we want is args and quarks. Okay, all right. So now what you are going to do, I'll be saying the next thing. Okay, so pardon me for that. So you are going to use a try catch statement. All right. All right, so let's get into this. So I said try catch, try except statements. JavaScript has flooded my brain. So you're going to try and get the profile with the profile ID that was provided. Okay, so I'm going to use profile dot object dot get. So we are using a try except catch because if this profile does not exist, it is going to throw a does not exist error. So that's why you are using the try except block, so that we'll be able to handle the errors well. Okay, so we are going to get it with the UUID. Okay, the UUID is going to correspond to our profile ID, like this. Okay, cool. Like this. So now we have our profile. Okay, we have our profile. So what we want to do is that we want to gather all the movies from the database. All right, so it's going to be movies. Oh, what am I spelling? My computer is freaking slow. Movie. I'm beginning to get pissed. Sorry about that, guys. Look at what's happening. Okay, guys, so it's supposed to be movies. So guys, you can see the struggle that I'm going through just to come out with this video. Okay, so please, if you are new to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. If you are already subscribed, please like the video. Okay, please, I really cherish it. Okay, so we are going to filter the movies that already exist inside the database, and you're going to filter with the age limit, so that we don't provide, if the account or the profile is a kid's profile, we don't send it adult movies. Okay, so you are going to filter with the what's the name, the profile age limit. Okay, so we're going to get it from the profile. So if you remember, the profile has age limit on it, and so you are going to use that one to help us filter. So you are going to get the age underscore limit like this. Then when you are done, you are going to check for one thing, that if, okay, so now we have a profile, but we don't know whether the profile belongs to the particular user that is currently accessing it. So we want to check if that profile is inside the current users or the user that is accessing that page list of profiles. Okay, so you are going to check that. So if profile not in request.user.profiles.all, okay, if it is not in it, then we want to cause a redirect. And we are going to send a redirect to colon profile underscore list. That is where the list of profiles are at. Okay, but if it is in it, or we are going to return a render that has our request. Sorry guys, request, and is going to use the movie list template that's already been prepared for you, and we are going to pass it with a context dictionary, which is going to have our movies. Okay, all right, movies, what is going to have, sorry, hence you are going to reference these movies over here. All right, so but if there's an error, or let's say if you are not able to find a profile, which is the probable error that can happen, so profile. The profile model has this does not exist error on it, so we can use that one as the exception. Okay, does not exist. Does not exist. So if it does not exist, we also want to do the same thing as this. We want to return the user to the profile list. All right, so let's save it up, then let's go back. Let's see whether our server is still running. All right, it's still alive. So now you have our view here, so let's add it to our urls.py file. Okay, so it's going to be a path that is going to have watch, and it's going to take in a string that is our profile underscore ID. Okay, so the arg that you provided for the view should correspond to the name that you provide over here. Okay, so I called it profile ID, that's why it's being called profile ID also over here. Okay, so and you're going to use the watch. You're going to use the watch, and you're going to call the as view on the model, on the view. You're going to give it a name of watch. Okay, so you have to import it here as usual, or else you are going to land in an error. Watch. Okay, so you can save it up. But before we go and test it out, there's one thing that we missed out. You are supposed to protect that view from for only logged in users alone. So we are going to copy this method decorator over here. Copy this, then send it down. This laptop of mine is very weird. That's all I have, so I have to make the videos for you guys too. So now let's save it up and let's go and try it out. But there's no way of us sending this profile or linking this profile to the view that we just created. So let's go and make some slight changes inside the profile list template. So where is that profile list template? Profile list, that's the guy. Okay, so the change that I want us to make is that we want to add a URL here that is going to redirect us to the profile page, to the watch page. Okay, so let's add a URL here. It is going to use core:watch, and you are going to pass the profile ID as the profile.uuid. Okay, the profile here is the current profile we are looping over, the current object that we have from this profile. Okay, profiles list. Okay, I hope it's clear. So let's save it up and let's go back and refresh. Okay, so now when you over on this, so you can see now you have a watch. If you look down here, let's just click on it and go to that page. So now you can see now you are able to be, you are redirected to a new page, but it seems you have an error. Takes in one argument, whatever. So it seems you made an error somewhere. So what happened? So let's check our URL. It's called profile ID, profile underscore ID. So let's check our view. So that's the what I was talking about. It's from the error is from that place. It's profile underscore ID. What happened? It says takes one positional argument, but 2 was given. Who gave it? Who gave it the 2? Oh, my brain is beginning to get tired. Wow, where is this error coming from? My laptop has become incredibly slow that I can't even. Let me check. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. I'm sure you guys got that. I'm supposed to instantiate it. So now let's refresh this thing again. Okay, so now you can see we have some templating errors over here. So it's working, just the template has to be fixed. Okay, so let's go into the profile list. You are down in the profile list, so you can shut it down. Okay guys, so open up the movie list template. So I think it is to be a good idea if we work on the template for the 3 last ones left. That is going to be the movie detail, the movie list, and the show movie. Okay, let's work on those 3. Then we get back into our view again. We are not supposed to keep long on that, so we'll finish that quickly. Okay, so this is the show movie. So let's start with the show movie. Let's start by taking out the distance. Let's take out it. And now let's extend. Let's extend base .html. We are going to have another block below. That is going to be called title. We are going to have movie like this. Okay, so you can take out this one, these 2 over here. Then you're going to have another block. You're going to call it others. And you're going to move in these two into it. All right, The last thing that we're going to do is the block content. Okay, so now we can take away, what was this? We can take away this part with the inclusion of the navbar. So from the navbar to the head, like this, and take away the bottom part. That's 2 tags. And you're going to move the main into the content, the block content, and you're going to include the navbar. Include from partials.navbar.html. Okay. Let me save it. Okay, so I think we are done with the show movie. So you can close that one down. You can even do it quickly yourself, but I just want to do it quickly so that we just take our hands off, so we just be writing our views and focusing on better stuff. Okay, so let's delete this. We're going to extend base.html. Okay, then the next thing we need is a block title. The same usual stuff. I'm going to place in detail page. Let's take off these 2 over here. Another block. I'm going to call it others. I'm going to move the script tag into it. Alright. The final thing that you're going to have is the block content and the navbar. So let's clear the navbar away with the head tag and the whatever the body tag. Okay, so I'm going to have a block content. Okay, so we are going to move everything inside this. This is all I want. Let's move it into it. All right, so everything beneath this thing has been already copied and added to our base.html file, so we don't even need it here again. You can close it, you can delete it. All right, nice one. So you're done with that one too, so you can close it. But we'll be making some changes when we get to there, so don't worry about those those changes. So change. Okay, this my laptop is weird. Oh guys, so this is the last changes we need to make. So let's delete this one. Extend base.html. Then you're going to have another block. That's going to be called title. You're going to have in it enjoy Netflix. Joy, Netflix. Like this. Let me get away the select tag. And let's have a block others. This thing is stressful. All right, I think we are almost done, so let's get away this one here with the navbar. And let's, did we include the navbar here? I don't think so. Okay, as I thought as much. We should include the navbar inside the movie detail, so let's include it first. So include partials. Oh, supposed to be a string. Partials slash navbar .html. Okay, I guess we're done with you. Let's check. So let me just confirm something from the show movie. Okay, so this partial is supposed to be a string. Supposed to be a string before we land in another error. Okay, so let's continue with the movie list. Trying to move as fast as I can, as I can move. So you're going to have another block called content. The block. Called content. Okay. Let's close or minimize this main tag. Then move everything into the block content. Nice one. So you can take away this two tags, then re-expand it again because you are going to make some magic in here. All right. So now let's save it, then go back and refresh and see whether you're going to have our page working. We are going to land in an error. Okay, so you can see stuff are coming through, but where we are not getting an image, our image here. So I had a static image over there. So let's fix that. Oh, where am I? Okay, so it's going to be a background image. Okay, this is it. This is it. So first, let's take away the assets. And let's wrap a static around this. So we will need to load in our static file. All right. So we need to load in our static file right up here. So load static. Load static like this. Then you can go back and refresh and see whether a magic will happen or not. And I can see the navbar is also not appearing. Did we forget to include it? What is happening? Let me refresh again. What on earth is happening? Let me check my console. I'm sure the file does not exist or something like that. I knew it. I forgot to add those files to it. Okay, so sorry about that. But I don't know why the navbar is not showing, or you forgot to include the navbar. Okay, I thought as much. So let's include the navbar. Navbar.html. So you can save it. Then you have to do with that image that is not there. So I'm going to freeze this recording, then add that image to the static file. Okay guys, so you can see I've added the image to it. So when you check the complete project, you are going to find this image added to it. Okay, so let me close that one and let's go back and refresh and see whether you are going to get things as we want it. Let's refresh. Okay, so now we have this thing, but you have some styling issue. It seems this styling is not coming through, so I think I know what the error is, where the error is coming from. So that particular button, which is display, you're going to add an inline style. So it's going to be a color of black. Okay, I think that's the only one that needs it. Okay, yes, so let's save it up. Okay, it's going to be our last refresh before we continue what you are going to continue. Okay, so now you can see everything popping up nicely. So this is where you are going to list our movies. So we take the movies from our back end, then we are going to list it over here. Okay guys, so let's do that. What are we going to do? We are going to loop over the movies. Okay, so the movies are rendered with this div over here. So you are going to get away all the divs below, and you are going to leave only one, just one. The rest you are going to use a for loop to provide it. Oh, sorry. So delete all of them and leave this particular one, the one that has the image in it. Okay, the one that has the image in it. So you're going to take this off. I'm leaving the one with the image because it has some styling that I need. Okay, so just delete those ones without the image. All right, and you're going to run a for loop on it. So it's going to be a for loop. Going to run a for loop that has movie in movies. And with each movie, we are going to create an anchor tag so that we'll be able to move to the detail page of a particular movie. Okay. So for the meantime, I'm going to leave it as an hash. Then I'm going to wrap it around this div over here. Okay. So if you quite remember, each movie has a flyer. So the flyer is what you are going to place inside the div. Alright. So here we are going to render out our image or the flyer. For us to render out the flyer, we are going to have movie.flyer, and we want the URL for that particular flyer, okay? Not URLs, URL. Okay, so this is it. We save it. Now let's go back and refresh. See what's going to happen. A few seconds more. Okay, so we are done. So we scroll down and voila, we have no movies. So there's nothing rendering here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pause the video, then create a super account, then go into the Django database, the Django admin, then add some 1 or 2 movies to the back end. Okay, so it's not anything huge. That's why I'm trying to make it. Let's create it together. I don't want you guys to miss out anything. My machine is just running slow, so I wanted to do it offside. But let's do it together so that you have a full view of everything happening. Okay, so you are going to create a super user. Okay, so we are going to do that with Python manage the py create super user. Okay, we are going to give it, let's give it Oli Ultra Dev. Let's give it something simple. My brain is tired. a@a.com. Admin. The password is admin. Password is going to be admin. Yes. Okay. So now let's clear it. So now let's go and use our Django admin. So localhost port 8000 /admin. So now let's log in. So we're going to call a@a.com. The password is admin. Oh, okay, so it's logged in. So what we want to do is, where are we? Wonderful. We want to add movies, but we have not added the movie database to our admin. Okay, so let's do that. So let's go into core. We're going to add our models to the admin. So in the admin.py file, let's go into the admin.py file. I totally forgot about those steps. So from .models import what's the name of the model? Movie. Then also import profile, and last but not the least, custom user. And I totally forgot about this video. All right, So we're going to add it to our admin. So admin.site.register. Going to have movie. Copy it down. Going to change distance. I want to move fast, but my laptop is laying me down. Oh, what's this? So there's going to be profile. See what it's doing with me. So here, video, and here custom user. All right, I think we are good to go now. All right, so let's go back to our admin and give it a refresh again. Okay, so now you can see those things over here. So first we are going to create a video. The video is going to be linked to a movie, so it's totally cool. Just follow along. First create a video. We are not going to give it any title. We are going to choose some dummy short videos that I downloaded from YouTube. So what did I call them? I placed them somewhere. Where did I place these things? Short video. This guy. Okay. So save it. Save that particular movie instance. Then now go to the movies. The video instance. You are now going to create a movie instance. The F list. Let's put some dummy words. I don't have time. So it's going to be a single movie. And going to choose one. Then we're going to use the F list. Age limit is all, so let's save it. Now we have a single movie instance inside our database, so let's go and refresh it. Let's refresh our home page again. So you can see now we have nothing there, but let's refresh it again. Okay, seems you have a problem. Let's log out so that we can use our previous user. Sorry about that, guys. The images are huge, so it makes it slow to render. So it was using Kojo. That's kojo.com. Killer test. So let's log in. I didn't want to go through the process of creating another profile again. So okay, so now we have a profile, so let's use it. Okay, so let's go and see whether I have a movie down here. Okay, so you have a movie down here, but it seems you're having some error with our image, so let's check that one out. It's probably some. Let's try refreshing it again. Wow, Why is it not working? So let's this is strange. Let's inspect this. Okay guys, so it seems I found the error. It's from here. It's not supposed to be movies, it's supposed to be movie. Okay, so let's save it, go back. Let's refresh this thing again. Okay, so you can see the image is coming through over here. Okay, so now we have where you can list our movie. So we need to now make a detail page. Okay, so now you can also expand upon it. I did it myself. I've already done, but I want to leave it as a challenge for you guys, where you are going to send a single video that is going to be a showcase. That's going to be the showcase movie. Okay, so you are going to extract just one movie from here, from the filtered movies here. Now we're going to use it as your showcase movie instead of using the static showcase movie over here. I'm going to use that one as your showcase movie. So try that one out and let me know your solutions down there inside the comment section below. Okay, I did it for myself and it was very simple, so I believe you guys can do that. So the next thing that we are going to work upon is the detail page, that when a user clicks on this movie, it should send him to the detail page where he or she is going to see all the details about this particular movie, and then you can click upon it to go and watch it. Okay, so let's jump back into Visual Studio Code and go into our views. Okay, as usual. Okay, so let's create the movie detail page. So let's go down. Let's create a new class called show movie detail. Let's make this D capital. And it's going to inherit from the view. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is you are going to define a get method. Going to take in self, take in request, and take in the movie ID, movie underscore ID, and the last thing is going to take in the ask and quarks. All right. Okay, so what you are going to try is you are going to try and get the movie ID, the movie with the movie ID. Okay, so I'm going to use a try except block so that we don't get any error. So let's clear this thing off. I'm going to try to store it in a movie variable, and you're going to get a movie dot object dot get, where the UUID is equal to movie underscore ID. Right. The next thing that we want to do is that if the movie exists, then we want to return a render. Sorry if I can spell return well. Return a render of request, and we are going to serve it with the movie detail.html template. We are going to pass along a context dictionary. sorry, I'm going to pass along the movie that we had. Alright, but you want to check for exception. The only exception that we have to check is if the movie does not exist. Okay, so if the movie does not exist, let's clear this exception from there and use the movie dot does not exist. Okay, if it does not exist, what do you want to do? You want to return a redirect to the profile page. Okay, to the profile list page. Okay, so return a redirect to a reverse URL to profile underscore list, like this. Okay, so now we have our view done. So let's add it to our urls.py file. Okay, so inside our urls.py file, what you are going to do is you are going to first import show movie detail. Okay, so you are going to use it inside our path. So you are going to create a new path here, and our URL is going to be /movie/detail/ we're going to take in a dynamic value, which is going to be our movie ID. Okay, and you close it out with an ending slash. Okay, so we are going to use the show movie detail. If I can spell my detail well. Okay, then I'm going to use the .as view on it, and let's give it a name. Okay, and then it's going to be called show underscore dates. So a short version of show detail. Let's keep the list running. All right, let's save it. Okay, so now we have that working, but where we want to use it actually is inside the home. What's the name? The home where the movies are listed, so that when the user click on this one like this, it will take it to the what's the name? The detail page of this particular movie. Okay, so let's add it. Let's add a URL to this one, to the movie list page. So where we are returning this hash, this href hash, we are going to use a URL instead of the hash. So we are going to return a URL here. So we are going to go to core.show underscore date. We are going to provide the movie ID. Okay, movie underscore ID is going to be equal to movie.uu ID. All right, so let's save it. All right, so now let's refresh this thing again. Now let's hover over this. So now you can see it is sending us to the detail over here. So let's click on it and see where it will send us to. Okay, so now it sends us to a detail page, but the details there are static data, so we need to make it dynamic so that it uses the one for the particular movie that we just chose. Okay, so let's go into, we can close this one of the movie date list and open up the movie detail template. So open up show movie detail, and let me expand mine so that you see everything up. Okay, so in open show movie detail, the movie detail template, the first thing that I'm going to change is the detail, this thing over here, you're going to change it so that it uses the movie title. So because you are sending in a context with the name movie, we can get from it the title. All right, the next thing that we want to change is this thing over here. I'm going to use the movie detail that was provided. You're going to get some weird stuff, but movie description. How is it spelled? Description, okay. And I just want to make some changes here. Let's add this. Where is this thing going to? Let's add just this. Oh, let's add an inline style here so that we can see the button. Just it's not showing for the meantime. Let's just add a color of black to it so that the text become black, right? Where has it moved to? Hey, this my laptop is weird. Oh well, let's go. It will come back to where it's supposed to be. It's back again. Okay, so we are making it this inline style black, the color, the text black. Okay, so here where we are using dynamic data, I'm going to just take everything off. We are going to render our movie description over here too. Movie underscore description. So this part where it's on the image, or that is the header part, you can slice the detail and just take like maybe 50 characters or 100 characters. That's depending on your preference, so that you don't jam up the front, the first page, this part. So I just show a little bit of a summary to it. Okay, then you show all the details below, inside the real description below. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is the image, the background. Okay, so this time around you are not getting this from assets, or from static. Sorry, from static. This time we are going to use a media URL. Okay, so we are going to grab this one, and it is going to be the flyer URL. So it's going to be movie.flyer.url. okay, so you save it up. Then now let's go back and refresh this thing. Okay, so you can see the flyer is in, the description is also in, but something is wrong somewhere. I think I spelled something wrong, and the styling too is off. So I think the styling, I know where the error is coming from. So the styling, the only thing that you need to do is just take off this thing, justify end from the session. I want to select you. Did I spell description well? Movie.description. Movie.description. Oh no. Movie.description, is it? Let me see whether I didn't make the same mistake over here. There's a description over here. So let's save it. Go back and try it for one time and see whether it's going to work. Alright, so it seems that there's no description for the movie, and it's weird. Wow, I thought there was a description. Guys, let me check that quickly. Okay guys, so I've actually confirmed it. It seems during we're making the spelling for the model, we made a mistake. We didn't spell the description well. I omitted the T. So you can correct that, make migration and migrate, then you have everything. But I'm just going to just use it like that. Just take off the T so that it will work. So you can just correct that on your end. Okay, or I'll have to do 110. Okay guys, so let's refresh. So you can see now the description is now coming through. This is it. Then we have the other one too over here. So I just noticed one thing. I tried to log out over here, let's see, and I had this weird error. It actually did log out. Wow. Okay, maybe, I don't know why, but when I tried to log out, I had the CSRF error. Okay guys, so you can see now the description is coming through, so you can make it better. We have already wasted a lot of time, so I can't go about making description and other stuff. So the styling and everything has been done for you. Just have to place in more detail, more objects inside the admin. Just create more instances. Okay, but there's one thing I want to help you do, that which is, if there is the movie is a seasonal movie, we have to display. You see, when it is, you are watching a Netflix movie and you go to the detail page and it's a seasonal movie, they show you the episodes and you can choose which episode that you want to watch. That's what I want us to do. I'm going to copy in some code, then I'm going to explain it, but I'm not actually going to create a seasonal movie so that we experiment with it. Okay, but I'm going to try my best to make it clear so that you'll be able to understand it. So scroll down a little bit outside this session. Okay, so above the description over here, I'm going to paste in some code. You can pause it and type it in. Okay, so let me paste it in. Okay, so this is it. So first I'm checking the movie type to see whether it is equal to seasonal. So if it is seasonal, I'm going to create a div here and I'm going to display an h2 saying episodes, and I'm going to loop over the movies inside the movies inside all the videos that has been linked to that movie instance. Okay, so a movie is linked to a video instance. Okay, so let's say a particular episode that has been linked to its main movie. Okay, so I'm going to loop over it. Then I'm going to first get the for loop counter, which is provided to us by Django, and I'm going to get the the episode's title. Okay, so then I display all that. Then you can see I am making some href over here, so I'm going to leave it for the meantime. I'm making some URL over here which is going to call play. We have not yet created it. Then I'm adding the movie ID here. Then I am adding what? An EPI. The EPI is going to help us get the particular episode that was clicked on, so I will be able to show the user the particular episode that they clicked on and not the first movie. Okay, so this is it. So you can just type in this code. It will become more clear if you test it yourself. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so what you are going to do next is you are going to create the page that is going to show us the movie itself. Okay, so I will click on the play button, this play button over here. You'll be able to know which be able to play the movie to us. Okay, so let's go back into our views. Where's my view? Where's my okay, so I've opened up my view, and first, before we begin that, I want us to protect this route, so let's just copy this method over here, copy this, then place it on top of this one. So we are just decorating it with the login required decorator. Then let's move down. Okay, so we're going to create a new class. That class is also going to be protected, and it's going to be called class show movie. So it's going to show us the movie, and it's going to inherit from view. And we are going to have a dev get that takes in taking request, takes in a movie ID, movie underscore ID, and going to take in args, and quarks. Okay, then we are going to try and get the movie. So we're going to store it a movie instance, and we're going to get the movie dot objects dot get object dot get. We're going to get with a UUID, and it's going to be equals to the movie underscore ID. Okay, then we are going to return, we are going to let's movie, going to reassign the movie constant or the movie variable to movie dot value, movie dot videos. Let me move this thing up a little bit. I can see what's going on. Movie dot videos dot value. Okay, so we are going to get some sort of a list. Okay, we are going to return it. Return a render of request. We are going to return the template show movie.html. all right, then we're going to add a context dictionary that is going to have the movie. It's movie this way, sorry. Movie this way, okay, the right way. Okay, so now we are going to have an exception. We are going to check for movie dot does not exist. If it does not exist, what do you want to do? You want to return a redirect to core or profile underscore list. Okay, so this is it. So we are done with this part. So let's save it. Now let's go and add this view to our URLs. So first let's import it in. Then let's create a path for it. So we are going to give it to a path. I'm going to call that particular path play, and oh sorry, not play, movie slash play slash, if I can spell movie well, what's all this? Movie slash play slash str, which is going to be movie underscore id. Okay, let's get out of it. Then movie.asView, show movie.asView. We're going to call it, the name is going to be play. Alright, so let's save it up. And now the next thing that we want to do is that we want to use this URL inside the show movie, so that when a user clicks on the button play inside it, it takes them to this home page, take them to this page, okay, or this route. So let's go into our movie detail page. And what you are going to do is you are going to wrap around this button an anchor tag. So the anchor tag is going to have a URL that is going to point to play. Oh sorry, core.play, core column play, like this, because you are using a namespace. So you are going to have the movie ID going to be equal to movie.uuid. Okay, then let's move in this button, this whole button over here. Save it up. Now let's go to our detail page. Now let's refresh. Hope you don't get any error. Okay, so now you don't have any error. So this thing now can take us to our play page. Let's click on it. Okay, so we have an error. That's beautiful. Okay, it said it does not have value. Probably it's true, it doesn't have value. No, probably it doesn't have value. It's supposed to be values. So let's change this thing over here. Now let's refresh this thing. Okay, now it says, okay, so it's supposed to be slash. So let's go into our show movie. Instead of it being movie dot navbar, partial dot navbar is supposed to be partial slash. This way, save it. Now let's refresh again. Okay, so now you can see we have our page showing, but the movie is now it's not being played. Okay, that's sad. No Netflix without a movie, that's bad. So let's go into our templates once again. So this is where we are going to make the magic happen. So instead of showing this static movie that is rendering from some asset thing which is not working, so clearly let's take it off. Let's take this whole thing off. All right, so we are going to using some JavaScript. Okay, so first thing we are going to do is we are going to pass the value that is going to be sent from the front end is going to be in a form of that is going to be sent from the back end, or the view is going to be in a form of a list. So we want to pass it, then send it to, so that our JavaScript will be able to have access to it. Okay, so the best way to do it is to use the JSON JSON script tag. Okay, so the name of it is going to be movie. We are using the JSON script. Okay, so JSON script, we are going to give it a name. We are going to call it movie underscore data. Okay, so beneath this main, I'm going to paste in some JavaScript that I'm going to go through and explain it for you guys. Okay, so this is the JavaScript over here. So this is it. This is basically it. I want to get everything. Let me Control C, Alt Z instead. Okay, so there's it. Everything's on one right now. So first I'm selecting this video tag here, then I am passing this data that I've sent from the view here, which is in the form of a list. Then I'm grabbing it over here. This is how you do it. Okay, so when I'm done, I am creating a new URL with the location.ref, which is the current URL that we are on. Then I try to get out a parameter. The parameter is called the API. So when you check the movie detail, when I added this, let me show it to you so that it becomes a little bit clear. When I added this block of code that was looping over the movie, so in case it's a seasonal movie, it's going to have an API at the end, which is going to tell us which particular episode the user wants to watch. Okay, so that's what the API is for. It's like for episode. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to grab from the URL. Okay, so I'm trying to grab that from the URL. But if it does not have an API, then it means that the person is trying to watch a single movie. So we make that video parameter 0. So if it has the API, then it sets it to the API. Okay, and it is passing to an integer. So whatever that is going to come out is going to be an integer. Okay, then we try to select the video file that we want to watch. So the list that is going to come out of here is going to give us a list of video files. Okay, so the video file is going to be in order. So episode, if it's a seasonal movie, episode 1 is going to be first, episode 2 is going to be second, 3, and in that order. Okay, so we get to that particular episode, then we get to the file. The file is going to give us a URL. Okay, The file is going to give us a URL. Then we just merge that path to that URL with this thing over here. This our root URL, which is pointing to our media files. Okay, I hope I didn't confuse anyone. Okay, so this is how you are doing it. So let's save it and let's go back and refresh. Okay, so it seems you have some error somewhere. Okay, so it says you can't pass whatever JSON. So I think I know where the error is coming from. So instead of inside the view.py file here, instead of sending the movie, you are going to send a list. You are going to wrap it around a list. Okay, so and make it a list instead of a query whatever that they are talking about. So let's save it. That way to be able to pass it to JSON. So now let's refresh. Okay, so now you can see this time around we have a video showing up, so you can play the video. It's some weird very simple short video that I downloaded from somewhere. Okay, so you can see everything is working. Now we can play a video. So let's go back. You can go back. Okay, so when you go back, then we click this thing over here, play. Going to send us to the page where the movie is supposed to play. Then voila, we can go ahead and play our movie. Okay, so guys, this is basically the end of our the tutorial. This has been a long one. You can expand upon it. You can add the payment part, and that's the only thing that it seems I omitted. But if you guys give me more likes down there, if you guys subscribe to the channel, I promise you I'm going to add the authentication, the payment system to the application. Okay, then I record it for you guys. Okay, so just if you are new to the channel, just subscribe to the channel. If you are already subscribed, please like the video, share with your friends, and help me out. Just help me out. Okay, have a great time, and thank you for spending your time with me also. Until then, see you in my next tutorial. Bye.